Yeah, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Earlier on Monday, South Africa women, they comprehensively beat their West Indies counterparts by 8 wickets in the third one-day international that played at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua to take a winning 3-0 lead in the 5-match series. Now, after losing the toss and being asked to bat first, the West Indies struggled to get things moving and were bowled out for 157 in 48.4 overs, with Deandra Dottin top scoring with 71, her first half century in over 2.5 years. Rashada Williams with 37 was the only other batter to enter double digits. South Africa in reply breezed to their target with 80 balls to spare, ending on 158 for 2, with opener Lizelle Lee top scoring with an undefeated 78. Scores in the match, as you see there, the West Indies 157, South Africa 158 for 2. Vernon Springer was one of the commentators on duty in this fixture. And Vernon, welcome to the SportsMax Zone again. We've been dissecting this series for the past week or so. And again, the South Africans just look dominant. They look, a couple of classes ahead of this West Indies unit.
A lot of work for the West Indies team. And I think it is almost like a cardinal sin when you get bowled out inside 50 overs. So the first game, 46.4 overs. Second game, 44.2 overs. And today, 49.4 overs. But what is also touching, Lance, is 596 dot balls in 3 games. West Indies have not been able to get over 200 runs. 188 in the first, 205 and 203 dot balls. And the first half century for Deandra Dottin, we must also say congratulations to her for getting to 3,000 ODI runs. But when in terms of you look at what is happening in terms of the Matthews production, in terms of what is needed, her 8 matches for this season, 177 runs, with a high score of 100. And nothing else to complement that. Deandra Dottin, the last time she would have scored a half century would have been 2019.
Early as well, it was February 2019. So it was pretty early in the year as well. So she's gone 2.5 years. She was injured for a long period during that time, so we have to say that as well.
We certainly have to give that. But I think it's almost like a real headache now for the coach. And tried a couple of things. Kashana Knight was out injured today, so you still have to. But I thought that the maturity of Rashada Williams, somebody that 24 years old from Jamaica, I like the look of her. You could see that she's learning, and I think once she continues to be able to get more exposure at this level, she can only get better. She got a couple of things that she has to work on, but I really feel that she will get better. In terms of Shelley Nation, Lance and Mario, something has to be wrong in terms of the team. And the nation continues to struggle really, really badly. And today really didn't even help our cause. And with Brittany Cooper out, that's another take again for Coach Courtney Walsh. But I feel that at some point in time, the team is still playing batsman short. Because if by the time you get to number 5, you realize that it's almost exposed, where the West Indies just don't survive. They don't bat out.
Yeah, and you talk about the batting, of course, but I want to talk about the bowlers today, because normally they are the ones that get the job done. They look stronger than the batting. Today I felt as if it was difficult for them to pick up wickets.
Let me say to you that South Africans have come to the Caribbean on a mission. This is their first series win in the Caribbean. The last occasions that they were in the Caribbean, the series were drawn. You would know that in the series, like I said, was drawn in 2013 2-all and in 2018 1-all. So they've come out here on a mission. When you look at the opening stand today was 122 between Lizelle Lee and Laura Wolfhard. And then you would also realize that the West Indies again would have used like close to about maybe 6-7 bowlers today. In the first game, they've used 8 bowlers. Second game, 8 bowlers also. It's a worrying sign for Anisa Mohammed, because they just have not been able to get early wickets, because the South Africans have had consistent starts. 88, 122, 35 in the other game, even when Lizelle Lee got out. You really can't express yourself when you have low scores. And so it's becoming a headache. Quiana Joseph bowl well, but you want match winners. And to be honest with you, Mario, there's been no real match winners that have been coming up. Based on the conditions today at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, Martin would have had the bowl for me. because
Right.
I think that Dutton would have been able to get the ball to swing around today. It was overcast at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, and I think Dutton with those induckers, especially early, would have come up with a different ploy. Dutton would have had to bowl my new ball today.
Yeah, and you mentioned Anisa Mohammed, and I'd love to hear your assessment of Anisa as a captain with Stefani Taylor out.
It's tough. And it's tough because the batters are not batting, and so you really can't get to express yourself. And so Anisa Mohammed, because she's the captain, she feels gutted to, she's under a lot of pressure. Today, I just thought that a method could have gone in where they could have attacked more. You've got to take the attack to the South Africans. Shamila Connell bowled with some pace. Like I said, Shamila Connell was going to start from the CIUN. I would have had Dutton. I know they opened with Haley Matthews. Dutton would have had to bowl a couple of balls today for me with the new ball, because I think she's quite skiddy. On that wicket, we saw what Ismail did. Ismail bowled with real pace. She bowled straight, and she wasn't afraid to bowl the bumper. You see what happened to Kiana Joseph. She kind of just shook up Kiana Joseph, the one that hit on her badge, but she ended up coming man of the match. The bowling so far for the West Indies, just that nothing has been happening. They've not been able to break down the lead, the Wolfhard partnership. Yeah. And because of that, they just look out of sea. There's a lot of work. And losing the series right now, they've lost 3-0, the 2 games. They've got to rebound quickly, otherwise they could be swept. Yeah.
Vernon, we had a discussion in our office earlier today, maybe it was Friday, about where the team has really gone wrong, because we have to remember that they were World T20 champions in 2016, and a lot of the players are still there. And I'm not just talking about now. Within a year of winning that world title, the performances had just declined, rapidly. What would your take be on what has gone wrong with this women's unit?
Let's look at first, Lance and Mario, the T20. If you don't have a Stephanie Taylor in your team, then you have to be able to look to configure in terms of how you're going to use the DeAndre Dutton and the Haley Matthews. If you're coming to the one-day series, you have to start asking yourself some questions. Should Haley Matthews be opening? Should we get maybe Renisa Boyce in to open and maybe put Haley Matthews down to wait?
But Vernon, I'm not necessarily talking about this current series. I think the performances have been pretty poor for about 4 years now. So I'm taking your mind back to where did the problem start? Because coming out of 2016, they were on a high.
You're the champion, Lance. You know what happens, right? Everybody's coming for you. Yeah. If you don't work to stay on top of your game, you know what's going to be happening. And I think what you're really seeing here is that Miss Stephanie Taylor would have improved over that 4-year period, while the other players have just been more or less stagnant. You can say that DeAndre Dutton was out for, let's give and take, maybe 18 months out of the 4 years during the period through injury. Haley Matthews is still a young player in the West Indies setup, because she's only like 23 years old, 23, 24. So international standards, are we expecting too much from her? Yes, maybe we have. But really, nobody else has really, as you rightly said, come up to the fold. I think it's a headache because no real young batsman come through, or batter has come through time enough that you could be able to generate. We've had some folks, the Knight twin sisters, they've looked good, they've got starts. Yes. But just not being consistent enough that you really would want. When you compare to the other world teams in South Africa and Australia and even in England,
New Zealand,
you see at least 3 to 4 players consistently over a period of time going up that ladder. It's not that way with the West Indies.
Yeah, all right, Vernon, let's hope the team can rebound and not be swept in this series. We'll be in touch throughout the remainder of the series and follow the performance of these girls. Thanks for joining us.
I want to pick Mario's brain before I go. Do you think that Trinidad and Tobago can repeat?
I'm hoping they can.
You don't sound convincing.
The Patriots have, and that's the Patriots' fault. The way they have played, they've really worried me. But let's hope for the best. I guess you're supporting TKR too.
I'm certain Vernon is looking for the Patriots. Thanks, Vernon.
Well, he seemed interested in TKR, so he's joining me.
I was just making sure that you use your brain to figure out if you were confident Trinidad and Tobago would win this one. Because you have to understand that the Patriots now have a DJ Bravo as captain. So anything is possible, but we never know. It could be Ghana Amazon's turn,
Yeah.
and it could be also the St. Lucia Kings' turn, so we never know.
We'll see what happens, Vernon. We'll talk. Yeah. You're a little dodgy there in your response, Moran.
I was very honest, though.
Yeah, very honest.
I was, because I told him that I like the TKR to win, but based on how the Patriots have played, I'm worried. So I was trying to bring him across to support with me too.
Yeah, so those semifinals are going to be hot tomorrow. Both of them will be on SportsMax, of course. And we go to break. We have the second zone updates with Moran after this.